All right. Why don't we get started? Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming tonight. My name is Michael Cahill. I am the Climate Resiliency and Sustainability Planner for the town of Plymouth. First off, I want to acknowledge some people that we have in the room tonight. We have two state reps here that came out to join us tonight. We have Rep. Michelle Badger, and we also have Rep. Kathy Lenatra. Additionally, we have two select board members with us tonight. We have Ms. Deb Iaquinto. And we also have Mr. Bill Cohan in the back. Great, thank you for coming tonight. And welcome to Plymouth's first Winter Energy Forum. In terms of housekeeping, there are restrooms out in the back. Additionally, at the end of this presentation from 7 to 7:30, we'll have another half-hour one-on-one energy coaching session where residents can talk directly with Eversource staff. And with that, I will turn it over to our host, Ms. Deb Iaquinto.
Thanks, Mike. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk with us. And I know that you're all here because you have concerns about your electric and gas bills, or else you would be at home right now. And we see our bills getting bigger every year, and they're really hard to predict what it's going to be month to month. And I know that that causes quite a bit of stress for everyone. So that's why we wanted to hold this forum, to share clear information and to talk honestly about what's driving those costs, maybe talk about some options for how we can better manage them, and then just have an open and honest conversation about all the things that are in your mind, and then have the experts help us understand what's going on and what we might be able to do about that. So as a select board member, I do not set utility rates, contrary to what some people might like to have be the case. But I do believe that it's our responsibility as local government to listen and to ask questions and to provide opportunities like this for residents to come and get answers to their questions and have their concerns addressed. Hoping that we're going to get a lot of practical, good, useful information here tonight. So that's really what this is all about. So we're very grateful to have representatives from Eversource joining us. Thank you very much. And also our state delegation and members of our town resources. So we have a lot of talent in the room and a lot of resources, a lot of knowledgeable people who'll be able to answer almost all of the questions that you have. So I guess that's it for now. Thank you all for being here, and I'm looking forward to having a productive conversation. I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Thank you, Deb. And in terms of agenda tonight, to give you a lay of the land, we already had our first one-on-one energy coaching session. From now, we'll go into about a 50-minute presentation with representatives from the town, representatives from the local delegation, and representatives from Eversource. From there, we'll have about 10 minutes or so for audience questions. And then at the end, from 7 to 7:30, we'll go back into one-on-one energy coaching. And I should also note that we have the local scene with us here tonight that's recording this presentation. And it will be made available online after the fact. All right, so I'll kick it off. When it comes to your energy bill, it's broken into two parts. There's the supply side and there's the delivery side. On the town, under the town's purview, we can control some aspects of the supply. And supply is really baked into your usage and market rate for electricity. On the delivery side, which the state delegation will get a little bit into, that's driven by transmission, public policy, distribution, operations, and service. On the supply side, back in 2017, we kicked off our Community Choice Power Supply Program, which is our local aggregation plan. The way that aggregation works is we bundle all Plymouth consumers onto one contract together, to improve purchasing power. From there, we can provide competitive supply for our residents. The best way to think about aggregation is we're trying to improve the stability and affordability for Plymouth residents. We have 25,977 meters currently enrolled in our aggregation plan. Since the plan was put into place back in 2017, residents have been able to see for about $45 million in savings associated with being on our plan compared to basic Eversource service. Back in June of 2025, we signed our new and current contract. That contract's rate is 13.552 cents per kilowatt hour. That contract is a 4-year contract that kicked it off in August of 2025, or October of 2025, excuse me, and will be in place until October of 2029. I did a little bit of research and I looked at the other aggregation plans in surrounding towns. There are 199 aggregation plans in Massachusetts. I collected data on 16 plans from surrounding communities. The median of those plans is 15.193. I should also note, sorry, I skipped this. Our plan is 100% renewable energy credits. As according to or within our climate action adaptation plan that was approved by our select board back in spring of 2024, we only offer a 100% renewable energy credits for our solution for our residents. These plans that I pulled are also 100% renewable energy credits, all of them for these 16 communities. And like I said, the median of those plans is 15.193 cents per kilowatt hour. Our plan is basically a penny and a half less expensive per kilowatt hour than surrounding communities. Now, unfortunately, back in March, on March 1st of 2025, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission passed the ISO New England Day-Ahead Ancillary Services Market, or DAISY rates. This was put into place as a new rate that was meant to procure enough physical supply in the day-ahead market to be able to handle fluctuations within the energy market. And basically what it does is it compensates physical resource generators to ensure that there's grid reliability in severe weather events. This rate is put on to the supply of all energy suppliers in Massachusetts, and those DAISY costs are assessed at the same megawatt hour per hour rate for all suppliers. Now, when we signed our contract, the guidance that was given by ISO New England was to put on to build in margin for a $1 per megawatt hour rate, which you can see here is this orange line at the bottom. To give ourselves additional wiggle room, we actually put in $6 per megawatt hour, which you can see from this green line. The blue line represents the DAISY rate throughout the contract. As you can see, there's numerous times up until probably October, where that DAISY rate is actually below that $6 per megawatt hour that we had bargained for. But as you can see, kind of from October all the way through current, DAISY rates have really exploded. That really came to a head on January 26th and January 27th. Where we saw the megawatt hour rates of $293 per megawatt hour on the 26th and $471 per megawatt hour on the 27th, represented by this spike here. Before that point, the megawatt hour rate was on average $9.50. So this was a huge change. And because of that change, new guidance has come into place on an increased DAISY price that is being put onto our aggregation plan. So yesterday, unfortunately, we had to put in a rate change for our aggregation plan of 1 cent, roughly. You can see the adjustment rate here. That's the new DAISY margin that we have in place, which is roughly 1.6 cents. And that brings our new aggregation rate to 14,625, which it will be for the remainder of the contract. Based on an average usage of 600 kilowatts per month, we anticipate that will make a change of about $6.44 for Plymouth residents per month with these new DAISY changes. But there is some good news, although our aggregation rate is increasing slightly. Eversource basic rates for residential were released and went into effect at the beginning of this month. The new Eversource basic service rate is 15.629 cents. So we're still roughly 2 cents per kilowatt hour cheaper than the Eversource basic rate. And once again, we are 100% renewable energy credits. To kind of recap everything there, our new aggregation rate starting on March 1st through the remainder of the contract, that will run until October 2029, is 14.625. Eversource Basics new rate running from February 1st, 2026 to July 31st, 2026 is 15.629. And once again, bringing it back to the surrounding communities, we are still cheaper than the average of the surrounding communities around us in Massachusetts. And I should also note, these numbers do not take into account any DAISY increases that these municipalities might be seeing as well. So I would expect this margin between the 15,193 and the 14,625 to become even more significant in the coming months. And with that, I'll also talk about another program that we're currently working on within our Climate Action Adaptation Plan. Action under Buildings, Energy, and Infrastructure 1.2b was creating an energy coaching program to promote residential commercial incentives for all-electric, high-efficiency building systems and renewable energy sources. We're very happy to announce that back in November, the town, we were fortunate to receive funding through Mass Save for a 3-year contract for an in-house energy advocate that is a town hall employee and works with residents and small business owners to help them with their energy efficiency goals within their building. And I'm very honored and happy to introduce Felipe, who's our first energy advocate in town and works with local residents to help with their energy efficiency. I'll hand it over to Felipe for a couple slides to close us out.
So good evening. First of all, I'm not much of a speaker, so don't make fun of me. So as I say, I'm an energy advocate for the town of Plymouth. I think I'm going to keep an energy coach. I think it's better. Advocate is kind of hard for me to say in English. One of the reasons why they hire me, because I can speak 3 languages, Portuguese, English, and Spanish. As we have a big Brazilian and Spanish community in the area, it'd be easy for me to talk to the renters and some of the homeowners too. What the reason is what the Mass Saves matter. Why the matters right now talk about Mass Save. Mass Save has been around for a long time. A lot of people don't understand the reason. A lot of people don't understand how to use, and be honest, how to abuse that too. Because there's a lot of incentives over there can be used. Even though the incentives keep going up and down as the years go by, we have to understand that. So homeowners and renters, especially renters, they don't know they can use that to save some money on electricity, to get a better way to live in their home, as especially in Plymouth, as we have a home that's a little bit older than normally in the Massachusetts area. I mean, 300, 200 years old home. So heating and cooling is about 60 to 70% of home energy bills. So drafted rooms, winter and hot summers. So energy costs can keep rising as AC and heat can be used most of the time. Even though if you use oil heating or gas, you're still gonna be using some electricity or natural to keep it on. Weatherization insulation through Mass Save, you can get a 75% to 100% off. When I say 100% off, I mean it's free to get insulation done on your home if there's a need for. All right, it's simple like that. I know there's nothing free in life. Again, nothing free in life. We pay for Mass Save on electric bill, so might as well take advantage of something we already been paid for. So that will stop drafts, improving comfort year round, and helps protect your home from moisture and damage. Just last year, I spoke to a homeowner last year. He was using oil to heat his home. He was spending on average $3,500 a year. After the installation and a heat pump installed in his house, he went down to $2,200 a year. There's a save of $1,300 a year. That's just in the first year. As the electricity price goes up, gas goes up, oil goes up, you'll see a little bit more savings on that too. Also, it's not a $10,000 anymore. Unfortunately, $8,500 now, the rebates. We should update that. That was my fault. But it's still a lot of updates on that. Still a lot of rebates when you do rebates for your heating system in your house. When you talk about heat pumps, there's 2 options of heat pumps. There's a big heat pump you can put inside, replace the electrical heating in your system. Or if you have an oil, you can do the mini splits. System goes outside, and you have the big window on the wall over there. There's 2 options you can do. Easy to explain. Mass Save will come into your house with no cost. They'll do a home assessment in your house. They're gonna check for insulation. They're gonna check the windows, the doors, the electrical panel. They're gonna check every single corner of your house, make sure the insulation is perfect. And they're also gonna check the electricity, like the heating system, if it's oil or gas. They will give you an option if you want to keep the gas or the oil as backup, and you can edit the second one as main power. Last year, you had to replace the whole thing to electrical. Now they voted back to keep as a backup too. We understand that as we replace everything to electrical, when the electricity price is skyrocket right now, it's kind of a little bit hard to people to understand and keep the price on it. So the latter keep as a backup, so you can use most of the oil or gas in the winter time. Weatherization and heat pumps can cut home about 2 to 4 tons a year of emissions of CO2. It's cleaner, healthier homes for families. Easy to maintain, easy to keep it clean too. Especially in the summertime, you see a lot of dust and everything coming inside the home. And of course, supports Plymouth climate sustainability goals. Just as last year, we sent a letter out in December, just introduce MassSafe, introduce myself to the community. We're able to contact about 275 people so far. I talked to Homeworks in Rise 2 weeks ago. Just on a month, January, we were able to do 85 home assessment, as much as I can understand. I mean, there's a few different companies that has in the area that I wasn't able to reach yet. There's Rise, Homeworks, HomeWeathers, and a few other companies we don't know about. So it's easy to contact. You can either call 508-286-6240, or you can just go to masssafe.com/Plymouth, and all information comes straight to me, so I'll be able to talk to you personally. Either go to your home, explain how everything works, and then we can set up a home assessment to you with no cost. All right?
Great, thank you, Felipe. We're actually going to hold questions until the end. So with that, I would like to welcome up our local delegation to talk a little bit about the legislative slide and delivery rates in DPU.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. So Rep. Badger and myself have been working on legislation for affordability along with the rest of the House. And we have a bill that we've been working on with the TUE Energy Committee. And this bill aims to rebalance the Commonwealth's clean energy strategy in response to federal funding cuts, focusing more on energy affordability while still moving towards our climate goals. It keeps many old green regulations while putting stronger guardrails around affordability, ratepayer protection, and business competitiveness. Each member of the House, which is the 160 of us, have had a personal meeting, and we've had meetings with leadership and with the chair of TUE. So that happened last week. We're still going forward, and we plan on bringing this legislation within the next 2 weeks. So Rep. Badger is going to talk about the key changes that are in that legislation.
Thank you. And it's still potential to change. So what we're sharing here is what is the current TUE bill. So there's climate targets become like an advisory. So for 2025 and 2030, statewide greenhouse gas targets are non-binding and non-enforceable. And so the long-term 2050 climate goals remain intact currently. There's new affordability tests for climate and energy regulations. So analyzing the impact of residential bills, especially for low income and fixed income housing before any changes are made. They're modifying or delaying actions that cause unreasonable cost burden. So really making sure as we're going through the making changes that things are being done that are going to decrease or not put that unreasonable burden on the ratepayer or the homeowner. Limits on mass save and efficiency programs. So energy efficiency programs must remain no more expensive than the energy supply. Total mass save spending cannot exceed the 2022-2024 rates, which is $4 billion, and would require strong proof of real bill level savings. As you can see, we're working our way through, but that's a theme that we want to make sure we're seeing real savings. Stronger ratepayer protections. So at least 70% of alternative compliance payments, which are penalties that the utilities pay for missing the clean targets, must be directly returned to customers as a bill credit. And that's kind of what is happening in February and March that was announced during the governor's state of the Commonwealth for February and March, where we're taking the money in that account and being able to apply it to your bills. Their clean energy procurement. The state can still produce and procure solar and offshore wind, but also procurements must improve affordability. Supply in the state, supply jobs and apprenticeships and include labor standards, workforce diversity, and community benefits, making sure that those involved in it are being fairly compensated. Faster residential solar permitting, creating a statewide automated smart solar permitting platform and allowing instant approval for code-compliant residential solar systems. And then major consumer protections for residential solar. They're going to tighten rules around sales and contracts, require clear disclosures of price, system size, financials, and responsibilities. I think that's what we hear a lot of people that have solar not fully having understood what that burden will be in the long term and the short term. So that's answering that question. Longer cancellation windows. Right now it's a minimum of 5 days. Stronger regulations of solar sales people and companies. We all have them come door to door. And it applies to purchases, leases, and power procurement agreements. So those are kind of the highlights. I'm going to turn it right back to Kathy to give kind of the update on the bottom line of the bill.
And again, I'm sure some of you have heard the governor has her own bill as well, and we're working with the governor and the administration to put those together with her, the best things of her bill and the best things of the House bill. So the bottom line is it keeps the clean energy moving, but slower near-term mandates. Climate targets remain in place long-term, but for 2025 to 2030, they become advisory so the state can adjust to federal funding cuts, offshore wind delays, and market instability without locking into costly mandates. It puts affordability and economic impact first. It continues solar and wind with stronger protections. So just to let everyone know, if you have any questions about these bills or you have some input that you'd like to say, please reach out to Rep. Badger or myself. I'm Kathleen.Lenatra@mahouse.gov and Michelle.Badger@mahouse.gov. And we're happy to what?
2 L's.
2 L's in Michelle. Happy to answer any of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, excuse me. Thank you, Rep. Lenatra and Rep. Badger. And we're very fortunate to be joined with some friends from Eversource tonight. Greg, are you up first? I'll hand it over to Greg, who's going to give an update on Eversource side.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. My name is Greg O'Hodema. I'm a program manager on the Community Partnership and Engagement team. Joined here by my colleague, Alessine Francois, colleagues from our community relations team, as well as our government affairs. And then later on, as Mike said, that there's some colleagues outside available for one-on-one bill assistance from our credit and bill collections team. So we're going to try to cover some of these topics today pretty quickly, but we're also available for that question and answer portion towards the end. So I'll first start off talking about the components of your electric bill. But before I do that, I'll just also state the charges on your electric bill are driven by the amount of electricity that you use, and the same will be going forward for your gas bill. But as you can see here, your electricity bill is broken into 2 components, your supply and your delivery side. As Mike said, a lot of the residents in town will be on the community aggregation plan, but if you're not, you'll have basic service with Eversource, and you'll see that on your bill listed below underneath the breakdown of the current charges. That there will show who your electric provider is, and the supply portion is just the cost of electricity that you use. Eversource does not make any additional money on that. That's a pass-through cost to the customer. You'll see the delivery portion, which is broken down into 3 categories: transmission, distribution, operations, and service, as well as the public policy. The transmission portion of the bill covers the cost to maintain the high voltage equipment, as well as operate our regional grid, our regional electric system. The distribution and operation and service portion, that's really the core of our business, that we like to say, which makes sure that we're able to safely and reliably deliver that energy to your home or your business. And then lastly, we have the public policy portion, which covers the state and federally mandated costs like our financial assistance programs and the Mass Save program, which is energy efficiency. So here you can see your gas bill. We recently went through a bill design to allow for some further transparency. This is broken up into 3 different portions. You have the supply side, maintenance and infrastructure investment, as well as the public benefits. Similar to the electric side, the supply side of this is cost of the gas that Eversource procures, or if you're with a third-party supplier, that's the cost that you'll see there. Also further down, you'll see who your gas supplier is listed. What I did actually forget to mention on the electricity bill, but you can see here on the gas bill, is your gas usage history, which is really handy and helpful to see your usage for the current month as well as the last 12 months previously. Looking at that is a great way to visualize your usage and see exactly the amount of therms used and in what months to allow you to kind of gauge your usage going forward. But going forward, the maintenance and infrastructure investment portion really helps cover operating and maintaining the gas system, as well as any other upgrades that will come with that. And then the public benefits portion of the bill helps provide costs for the programs like energy efficiency through Mass Save. So as was mentioned, there was a recent stabilization credit for customers. Ultimately, it was $85 towards their natural gas bill. There was $30 that you would have seen in January, and in February and March, there was $25 that was aimed to provide relief during this high usage time. Our gas rates are adjusted twice a year. You'll see May 1st and November 1st. This is due to seasonal changes in the gas price. And typically in the winter, you'll see that the gas price is going to be higher due to the demand. So we do try to inform residents to pay attention. Obviously, you're going to be using more in the winter for your gas, but try to, there's a couple things that we would advise trying to not turn off your thermostat. I know a lot of people think that turning off your thermostat will help you, but if you keep it at a stabilized temperature, it'll be able to keep that same temp going forward. But if you turn it off, you'll use more energy trying for it to kick back on all the time. We also have programs to help, and then I'll pass over to my colleague, Allison.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the programs to help, and we do have some colleagues in the back. This is one of the benefits of us coming out and doing these Let's Talk Energy discussions. And typically, Greg kind of gave you an overview. We typically take a deeper dive. Our presentations typically take, anywhere from half an hour, sometimes 45 minutes. So what you got today was a very high level. But in terms of some of the programs to help, so on this page is listed most of the programs for the gas, and then I'll also include those programs to help you on your electric bill. So we have the Home Energy Assistance Program, which Philippe mentioned, so I'm not going to go over that. But certainly there are some programs that are available through Mass Save, and you're already paying for that, as he mentioned. So please take advantage of it. There's some great rebates, as he mentioned. So I'm not going to go through that. We also have a discount rate that's available. So on the electric side, you can be eligible for up to 42% off of your electric bill, and on the gas side, you can be eligible for up to 25% off of your gas bill. It does go by income, and we do have a sliding scale outside with our bill assistance. There's a sheet out there that shows the income eligibility. So it's based on your income, but there are discounts that are available. A lot of customers don't know that these discounts are available, and I always say, if you have not qualified for a discount before, please try, because those federal guidelines have been adjusted. So someone who may not have qualified last year could be qualified this year. And then there's, on the gas side, we have this residential arrears management program, RAMP. And on the electric side, there's a New Start program. They're very similar in structure. So basically what they are, they're here to help customers, and you have to be on the discount rate program already, but they're here to help customers kind of catch back up. And the nice thing about the New Start and the RAMP programs are there's a forgiveness portion. So if you have an outstanding balance, and you work with a company to get on a budget program to kind of get back, to cover that balance, as long as you stay on the schedule that has been set with the company, and they will work with you based on your budget, as long as you stay on that schedule and pay that agreed upon amount every single month, plus contribute to your current bill, there's a forgiveness piece. So you could potentially pay off your past due balance, as well as be caught up within a year. So that's a great program, and we definitely encourage customers to take advantage of it. We also have flexible payment programs. So pretty much the flexible payment programs are budget programs, and there's two portions to it. One is where you would, and very similar to New Start, but there's no forgiveness piece on this one. So very similar, you'll be put on a flexible program where you're paying a portion of your past due balance plus paying your current bill. And the company will work with you to determine what that monthly amount would be based on your budget and how you would work. And then we have budget billing. So budget billing, anybody can go on a budget billing program. Mostly those who are on fixed incomes take advantage of the budget billing program. And basically the company will work with you. So say, some people receive, whether it's pensions or their monthly stipends, could be a disability check or what have you, at a certain date during the month, we'll work with you to have your electric bill be released around that time so that you can budget and you can, contribute whatever portion you need to contribute to your energy bill. And then there's a Good Neighbor Energy Fund. This is a really good program, and it's run through the Salvation Army, so your local Salvation Army manages this program, and it's a grant that they have where they can give, it's a one-time payment that they will make available to customers and residents. This year, the amount was up to $435, where they would, you don't have to, have any income eligibility. It's a one-time. They don't ask a lot of questions. It's a one-time, and I always tell customers, it's not your annual come and get some money from the Salvation Army program, but it's certainly for those, someone could become ill, or they could lose their job, or it's, life situation where you kind of fall into a situation where you need a little bit of help. So that Good Neighbor Energy Fund is really good. There is also some protections. It's not listed up here, but we do have medical protections. So, if you have a serious health condition, your physician can send and they're all of them have them. There's a form that they fill out. They fax it into our billing department. No questions asked from the company. If your doctor says that you need a medical protection, we will give you a medical protection. What that basically means is that Eversource will never turn off your electricity or your gas as long as that protection is active. We also have senior and we have hardship protection. So if you have residents in your home that are 65 years and older, and senior protection can be put on your bill, which means that you still have to pay your bill, but for no reason will we turn off your service. And then if you have an infant in the home that's, I believe, under 24 months, there are some protections that we can put in to make sure that you have energy. So that kind of gives you an overview of our discount programs. And again, we have somebody in the back. If you don't have to have your bill on you, but if they can look you up by name, and they can see if you're eligible for a discount, and they can sign you up right here today. Just a couple more tips. I know that Philippe went through the weatherization program and the Mass Save program, but I always like, in my presentations, I like to ask customers, what do you do to conserve energy? Yeah, because as Greg mentioned, usage is your common denominator. Your usage plus your supply is going to be your supply rate. Your usage plus your delivery rate is going to be your delivery charge. So usage is very important, and the best way to manage your usage is to incorporate some of the tips that we have available, take advantage of some of the Mass Save programs that we have. So something as simple as turning your thermostat down and keeping it at that rate instead of having it fluctuate can help manage your usage. Wash it in cold water. Sometimes the times that you turn on your appliances. So, I know sometimes we come home from work and it's like, let's turn the washing machine on. If you turn it on at 11 o'clock at night when there's not a lot of folks using their energy, usage is a little bit, you'll be able to go through that process, and that's one way to conserve energy. Cold water, and then the time that you're using it. And then, Philippe and I were talking about, during the winter we like to keep our drapes closed to keep the heat in, but you're also keeping the sunlight out. Sunlight is another way to conserve energy because you don't have to turn lights on inside the house. So there are some tips here, and we do have, Mass Save has a lot of other tips, and then, our back here, I'll just show you. We have a scan code here that will take you directly to our billing, customer billing information. And there's also some energy efficiency tips there as well that you can take advantage of. So I'll turn it back over to Mike.
Great. Thank you, Alicine. Thank you, Greg. We're actually about 10 minutes or so ahead of schedule, so we have plenty of time for questions. We have another microphone up here. I'll bring that around the room if anyone would like to ask a question. Now's the opportunity.
Hello, my question is for Mike. For people who are not yet signed up for the municipal aggregation plan or who aren't sure, I know Greg's graphic showed how you can check on your bill who your supplier is, but for people who aren't signed up yet, can you explain how to sign up?
Sure. Yeah, so Greg, I'm actually going to go back to your slide and steal this bill here if you don't mind. So when it says supplier, our supplier for our aggregation plan is First Point Energy. If you would like to sign up, you can always call the town. You can work with me, and I can get you onto the plan through our First Point rep, or you can reach out to Felipe. Felipe's been getting many people onto the program over the last few months or so. So the best way to do is to reach out directly to the town. Additionally, if anyone has any questions about aggregation rate, supply, we're more than happy to talk to you and answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Mike. I highly recommend it. I signed up a couple years ago. I love the 100% renewable too.
Great. Any more questions? Yeah. Oh.
Thank you. Hi, I just want to know, is Mass Save exclusively available for homeowners, or can renters also benefit?
So no, that's for renters too. What happened is the home assessment is no cost. Renters can get, we not even let the homeowner know. But once the assessment is done and you get the results, then we gotta reach the homeowner and let him know what needs to be done, how much you're gonna save him, and how much he's gonna have to pay for. Well, he has to agree for the work, not for the home assessment. If it is more than 5 units, yes. So 1 to 4 units, okay. More than 5, the homeowner, everybody has to agree actually, not just the homeowner. Yeah.
In addition to that, Mass Save, because I don't live in this town, I live in Foxborough, and I just need to know, where can I sign up for the Mass Save, or is that exclusively for Plymouth
No,
residents?
that's for the whole state. You can just go to masssave.com and you can sign up over there. They're gonna send you information to a vendor to Mass Save. I think Foxborough might be Rice or Revise, something like this. So someone will reach over to you by email or phone, and just set an appointment for them. Yep.
Felipe, maybe just real quick, you could talk about what to expect in the home energy assessment process?
Okay, the home assessment can take up to 45 minutes, depending on the size of the home. They will come, they will explain to you everything step by step. They'll walk through your basement first. They're gonna check the whole corner, everything, make sure the insulation is correct, the vents on the basement. They also, as the basement, they're gonna take a look at the heating system. They also check the basement doors and windows. Once they go to the attic, they're also going to check the height of the insulation, see if the insulation should be replaced or add on to that. After this one is done, they're going to check every single window and doors on your house, make sure there's no air escaping the house. Some company might do the blowout door test, so they'll cover both door, the front door and the back door, and have a big fan sucking all the air out of there, and they go around a little smoke machine checking if it's escaping air somewhere in the house. So. That's why I say it takes up to 45 minutes to 1 hour, maybe.
Tell them what they leave.
Oh, after that, sorry about that. And after that, the whole thing is done. They will give about 10 minutes. They will give you the results, what can be done, and they will give you some free stuff. First will be the power strips and the thermostat. If the thermostat's more than 5 years old, they might replace that to you right there and then. The thermostat can be adjusted for like the time of day you want to be home. If you're not home and you want to be at 60, you just put it there from 3 to 5. You want to be at 60. From 5 to 7, you want to do at 63. So by the time you get home, your house is already warm enough for you to be here. Yeah. They used to give light bulbs. They don't do anymore.
Thank you, Mike. You had mentioned phantom, like when you want to save energy, the phantom spots. And I don't know if this could be a silly question, but I have children, right? And they always have their chargers plugged in, but they're not attached to their phones or they're not attached to their computers. So is that a thing? Is it giving out power? Is that considered a phantom power?
It is a thing, and I didn't mention it, but I should have. So phantom power. And it's interesting because remember I told you that when I go to presentations, I like to get participation. So there is a thing called phantom power. So, you know, a lot of us, we have all the appliances, all the latest devices, and if we have kids, it's worse. They leave them plugged in. And so we do say, if you can, I know it's a pain, unplug, because it's not pulling a lot, but it is pulling a little. Right? It's very little, but you are still pulling electricity when you leave things plugged in. So what I usually say is if you have a power strip, you know, and you plug that in, just pull it out the wall, right? It's a pain, but you'll be surprised. It does save a little. So there is that thing. There is that.
I'd add real quick too. The new power strips that Felipe actually mentioned are really good with that. They have a master switch, and then the rest of them are auxiliary. So if you were to turn off whatever device is on your master switch, the entire thing will turn off. So that does help with phantom electricity.
Thank you. So I know energy conservation is a piece, but for a lot of the people who have been voicing concerns about skyrocketing energy bills, a big part of the concern is the delivery charges being so much higher than the supply charges. And I have heard a lot of people complaining or scapegoating Mass Save as part of the reason for why the bills are going up so high, and because of the state's climate goals, which I very much support for the record. But I'm just wondering, I think Mike said that someone from government affairs at Eversource is here. I don't know if that's true, but I didn't know if maybe Eversource had a stance on for people who are having issue with or scapegoating Mass Save and the state's climate energy goals.
Sorry, I'm still chewing gum. I didn't know I was going to be called out by name tonight. So if you look at your bill, Greg did a great job of explaining supply. So supply is a complete pass-through cost. The blue portion of your gas bill, Eversource does not make any revenue on. That is nothing that Eversource can control. On the gas side, we're subject to external market factors. The reason I bring up supply is because when you take a look at public benefits, this orange portion is another portion that Eversource does not have a say over. So when you total the total gas bill and electric, they're around 50% of the total bill Eversource does not control. Eversource is a partner with the state on its clean energy goals. We are certainly not out there bashing any clean energy goals, but the energy efficiency charge in clean energy programs, specifically on the electric side, there's solar baked in. There is electric vehicles. There's a lot of different programs on the electric side that are in that public benefits portion. On the gas side, it's more so the energy efficiency in the low income programs. We're trying to break this out as best as we can. This is a similar bill to what we were statutorily mandated to do down in Connecticut, which really pulls out the public benefits portion so customers can see those charges. We haven't done so on the electric side yet, but we work closely with the Attorney General's office in the DPU Consumer Division to revamp this bill. And we are here, we work closely with the town of Plymouth and in Felipe's new office to make sure that customers are taking advantage of Mass Save, because that is a line item on their bill. We want people to get those at-home energy assessments done and see what they can do. I guess while I'm up here, the heat pump was mentioned. If customers are converting to electric heat, Eversource, as of this year, now has a new heat pump rate. So as rates were high last year for electric users and they're using more during the winter heating seasons, there's a heat pump rate specifically for heat pump users that's a lower rate than what they would be charged on the off-peak months, so that when they're using electric to heat, it evens out. So if customers are on a heat pump, or if there are folks listening that are on one and don't know if they're on the heat pump rate, we urge you to call Eversource customer service. And I kind of got off track to the Mass Save question that you asked, which is a great question. But we're certainly partners in this with the administration, with our colleagues at the legislature, and we want folks to take advantage of Mass Save and energy efficiency as best as they can.
Thank you. This is a question for Eversource. I was fascinated by your comment about the time of day that you use some appliances or you draw on your energy can make a difference to the bill. Does that mean there's like demand pricing, or what's going on there? Why would it be more efficient to wash my clothes at midnight?
The rates don't change. It's just the number of people that are using electricity. Sometimes there's peak demand. We call it peak demand. So there's certain times when it's like you get up in the morning, everybody's in the shower using hot water, right? Around the country. I don't know, around the same time everyone is getting up to go to work. It's just more efficient, less strain on the system. If you're using your energy during off-peak hours. Nothing around the rates fluctuate, but the usage, it's more efficient. So that's what I meant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I think that was a good question that Deb had. I'm Phoebe. So I think what it does is it helps save money long term. Like the less we use on our infrastructure, the better it is for the environment, and longer term we can see benefits. So it's more of like a conscientious thing. But one thing I did want to mention is that there are other programs, and I don't think they were mentioned, but if you do have if Eversource does come in or Mass Save comes in and they install some of the newer thermostats in your home, you can register those with programs with Eversource and actually receive money back, gift cards and other things either throughout time. And those show you really what those peak hours are, and you can know what those hours are. They'll do a rush. They'll ask if you can turn your, in this case, your AC in the summer, for example, down, and then that allows the system as a whole to function more properly and last longer, and then you receive monetary benefits for that on your own account or separately. Somebody can explain that probably better than I did, but that's the layman's version.
And I'll just note as well, not to put Felipe on the spot, it's not covered within our Community First Partnership Program grant, but we're very fortunate to have Felipe, who has a background in solar. So many residents reach out asking about installing solar on our homes. We have a resource in the town of Plymouth that can help walk residents through that process as well, which is great to have. And many residents have reached out to Felipe already to begin that process. So I just wanted to make people aware of that as well. Any further questions, Deb?
How would people find Felipe if they wanted to take advantage of his services?
You can find me every Wednesdays from 2 to 6 at the library, Monday to Thursday and Friday at the town hall, normal hours. You can call me on the phone 508-747-1620, extension 10131. And I'll be there to answer, or by email, freis, R-E-I-S, at plymouth/mass.gov. All right, M-A, M-A, sorry. And also once a month, I'll be at the Center for Assisted Living too, from 11 to 2.
Sorry, one thing I just forgot to mention that gets asked at a lot of these events is when we talk about supply, and the town, and Greg had mentioned on the third-party supplier side, we are in a deregulated energy market, so you can choose. It's supposed to incentivize customers to go out there and shop, and it's a competitive marketplace to shop for your supplier. So the town has a great municipal aggregation rate, but and Eversource has a basic service rate. So if you do not choose a supplier, you're defaulted to Eversource service. But there are third-party suppliers out there in the marketplace that you can choose from. So a lot of folks ask this question, like, who are these folks outside grocery stores that are trying to get us to sign up? Make sure to read the details. There are different rates out there. The purpose of the third-party supplier market is to out there and shop, but make sure you're asking the right questions and see what options are available to you. I don't know what the town of Foxborough has, if they're part of a municipal aggregation program. I don't know, what other communities have out there. I don't know if Foxborough was mentioned, but the third-party supplier market is something that's asked quite a bit, and folks are out there that have different companies. So if that's something you're interested in, just make sure you're asking questions and so on.
Also in my job, I don't only just do mass save or explain a bit about solar, but if you have questions and understand your bill, questions and need help, you call Eversource. I'm more than willing to be on the phone over for 3 hours with Eversource with no problem. Have been done this 3 times already. If you need help, change it over to residential rates or understand the heat pump rate too. More than help you to explain that too.
And we also just wanted to mention, just to beware of some of the scams, as Ryan just highlighted, that we are in a deregulated market and we do allow for third-party suppliers. And some of the tactics that they use can be a little bit predatory. So we do try to, pay attention, really read the contracts that they're providing and be aware of, some slight changes that might happen or massive changes that usually happen after their initial rates are kind of over with. Like I said, rates do change, and we do advise people to kind of pay attention to that twice a year, set a little timer to shop, but please read the fine print.
I just want to add to that because being out on the road doing a lot of these Let's Talk Energies, we do hear a lot of stories about scammers. And so it's not so much the third-party suppliers. These are other folks out here who are out to outsmart our customers. And we've heard stories where customers receive calls and they've been asked for their the banking information so that the company can, like pay their bills. And we tell customers all the time, never give out your banking information to anybody that calls on the phone. Eversource will never call you and ask you for your account number. We know what your account number is. We will never offer you a gift card for you to make payment. We will never demand payment over the phone. So just be very aware of folks are out there who are trying to scam. And I'll tell you a real quick story, and then we can change. I can turn it back over to Mike. I had a woman, I was in Roxbury doing a Let's Talk Energy, and she came in and she said, somebody called her and asked her for her banking information. She thought she was talking to Eversource, and she provided that information, and the next thing she know, they had wiped out her bank account. And when she came in, we put her in touch with billing, confirmed that no, it wasn't us, and helped her, call her bank and shut down her account. So there are some unscrupulous people out there, and they prey on the elders and those who English is not their first language. Those are the primary targets. So I just want to make sure that everyone are aware of, and we did put out a notice a couple of weeks ago about scams, and I know that National Grid did as well, because there seems to be some heightened activity. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
I'll just add too about the Plymouth aggregation plan. Keep in mind, you can always leave our plan at any point without any penalty or without any fees. You can always come back onto our plan without any penalties or any fees. Just keep in mind, depending on when you leave or join during a billing cycle, it can take up to 1 to 2 months, depending on when you come in on the cycle. But there's never any penalties for coming on or off the aggregation plan. We probably have time for one more question, if anyone has one. No? Great. Well, I would just like to say, additionally, we have a box in the back. If you'd like to write down a question and provide your email address, we can get you that answer. Additionally, I had talked very briefly about the new DAISY rates that are being applied to our aggregation plan. Sarah in the back, she has some flyers with information on that. Additionally, we have cards for Felipe, Sarah, and myself from the town. Feel free to grab one of our cards. We're always happy to talk energy. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And with that, I'll actually turn it back over to Ms. Iaquinto for closing remarks. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Ms. Iaquinto. This was her idea to put this event on and share information with the community. So thank you, Deb.
Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. As we've heard, this is an ongoing conversation. The industry is changing rapidly, and so we're just going to continue to hold these forums to provide the most up-to-date information that we possibly can. But if you take one thing away with you tonight, I hope that it's that there are a lot of resources available to help you as we all navigate this the challenging world of energy consumption. We have our Eversource folks are available to help you. Our state legislators are here to help you. And of course, the folks in our town are also here to be resources. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question or a concern or just want to clear up some information. This forum will be available, I think by tomorrow we'll be able to post it. So we'll post it through some of the town channels, and it will also be available on YouTube. So more people will be able to take advantage of the great information that we heard tonight. So thank you all, and I hope you have a great evening.
And one final note before you leave, Eversource has a survey out in the back. If you wouldn't mind filling that out before you leave. And additionally, we have another half hour of one-on-one energy coaching. Please take advantage of that. We have Eversource reps here to talk to you one-on-one about your energy bills and help you through the process. So thank you all for coming.